Welcome developers. Today we're going to be looking at the Clash of Clans API. So our learning objectives for today, we want to be able to sign up for the API, read some documentation so we understand how it works. From there we're going to use a piece of software called Postman to make some dummy API calls. Then we're going to write a script in Python to do all the heavy lifting for us. And then from there we're going to look at an example application where we render the data received from the Clash of Clans API onto an HTML website. So first of all, to get started, you'll want to Google Clash of Clans API and you'll actually end up on this page here. So in the top, just click on register, follow through these 4 steps here at the top, and then you'll receive some emails such as these emails here. So you can verify your email address and then proceed to log in. Once you've logged in, you'll see some keys here. So we can jump in and view the key that I've already created, but what you'll want to do is click on create a new key. From here you want to enter a name for your key, some sort of description, and also your IP address that you allow people to access this key from. So what you'll need to do is find the IP address of your current machine, and to do that you can just Google what's my IP and press enter, and the first result you see will be a string of numbers with dots in between. Just pop that in that little box there. So what we'll do is we'll head into this key that I've already created, and here you can see there's a very long token. So what this token will do is tell the API, hey, I'm authenticated, here are my credentials, check it's from this IP address, and if it is, it will return the information. So what we'll want to do next is download Postman. So to do that you can just Google for download Postman, literally like this. Click on the first link and the download button, nice and easy. Once you have that installed, the application will look similar to this, and you can make API requests. So we don't actually know what we're going to be making the request to, and that's where the documentation comes in. So from here you can see different endpoints. They have clans, players, leagues, and locations. So what we'll do is we'll start with players, and you can see this is the format for the request. So let's just have a look. If we list the operations, we already are, expand operations, you can see a lot more information. What we're most concerned about is trying it out so we can see what a response should look like. So what you'll want to do here is enter your player tag. So I actually cannot recall mine, but if you just open up the game, you can head into your profile and then enter your tag here. Okay, so once you've entered your player tag here in the value field, scroll on down, try it out, and now you can see all the information for your account. So what we're most interested in is what's inside here under curl. So double click to highlight everything, copy it to the clipboard. Within Postman, click import, paste raw text, paste it, import. So now we actually have that same call loaded within this software. So if we press send, you'll notice here invalid authorization, access denied. Now the reason for that is the headers, or the additional information that we send to the API, we're not actually including our token. Backspace that out and make sure you still have a space here. Head back over to where your token was, so that's in your account. Copy it to the clipboard, paste it in, press send, and you'll now see all this information. So what this shows is we can access the API from their internal network, but also from our computer as well, using the API key. If you get stuck at this stage, it's likely your API key is incorrect, and you may need to create a new one, or the IP address you saved is different to where you're browsing from now. Now that we have this information, let's write some Python. From here, we're going to create a new script. You can open any code editor that you prefer. For this I'm going to be using VS Code. Since we're writing in Python, we need to import the request package. And if you're not sure what that is, you can hover over and find out more information. This just allows us to make API requests. inside Python. So what we want to do next is write a basic function, and we're going to call it getUser. And what we want this to do is return stuff about our user profile. So we'll insert a comment, return user profile information. So now what we want to do is requests.get, and we want to enter the URL in here. Now we don't know what that is, but we've got it here. So copy paste, like so. Now that will send an API request to this URL, and we actually want the response. So we're going to assign that to response. Now what we can do next is say we want the JSON from that. Now the reason we write this line is in the response, if we don't, it'll just return an object with the status code. But if we write JSON, you'll see here in Postman, that's the formatting we're using. So we know it's going to look exactly like you see here. Cool, so now that's done, we want to make sure we actually see the information, like so. Then we're going to open up our built-in integrated terminal. Python, what's our file called? clash.py. Cool, nothing happened. And the reason for that is we should actually save the file and call the function. Like so. Cool, so access denied and we're missing authorization. We actually spotted that error earlier, and you can see here there's nowhere on providing the API key. So what we will do is headers, and you'll see the headers in Postman here, which is why I love this piece of software. It really helps. So we need key value pairs, accept, blah, authorization, blah. So let's type that in. Accept, like so. And the next one, I think it was lowercase, authorization, and copy paste all of this, pop it in there. It's quite long, but it's alright. Now what we need to do is, this is our API call. We just need to inject these headers up here so that they're sent along with it. So you can just write headers equals headers, and that should be all good. Let's run. Alrighty, so all the information's here, which is great, and it's in JSON format, just as you see here inside Postman. So what we can do is, let's say we want to print out the name. We can just put square brackets name. Run our file again. There we go, nice and easy. So what you can do is you can use all of that information in the API response to do whatever you like. Now the purpose of these videos is to help you get started. As for what to build and where to go from here, that's up to your own imagination. So what we're going to do is use the clans endpoint. Let's get a clan, or search, I guess. Let's search. Just so I don't have to find my clan ID. So what we're going to do is submit a clan search, which is all good. So we're just going to do exactly the same here. The reason we're going to keep headers the same is because our key isn't going to change, which is okay. However, this will. See, we're hitting players. That's not what we want. So we're going to head back in. Where are we here? Head back into the documentation. Clans. So from here, if we just go to /clans, it's going to search. If we put in our tag afterwards, after a slash, then we're going to get the information. And if we go clan/tag/members, then we're going to see all the members. So let's just do a search. Alrighty, so you can try it out there, but I'm not going to. Actually, I will. So what we'll do here, name test. Try it out. Boom. Okay, so we're getting something back, which is great. So you'll notice in here the URL is /clans ? Which is a query string, and the query we're giving it is a name that equals test. So what we'll do, just because we can, head back in here, copy paste, boom. And as we know from our previous call, get rid of that, paste it from over here. I'll just grab the whole thing, it's all good. Cool, so our token's applied. You'll notice under the query parameters, that's what this is here. There's key value pairs, so the name we're looking for is test, which is fine with me. But the most important thing is this URL. So what we can do is head back into our code. Oh, into this one. Pop that in here. Boom. So it's already got our query applied. Sweet. What we could do, if you did want to be fancy, is you could actually pass in a query here. And then what you could do is, if it was a name, you could just go name plus query. And that way you could dynamically use this for any clan search. But just for now, we'll go with this. So it's kind of hard-coded in there. And we want the clan JSON. Clan JSON equals response dot JSON. Cool. And let's see what we get. So instead of calling that function, search clan is what we're doing now. Boom. Okay, nothing. Well, we're not really printing anything, so that was smart. Cool, so we see a lot of information here. What we know, because we can actually submit the call here to get a layout of what we're receiving. So from here we're getting a JSON object, and it has a key items, which has an array or a list of dictionaries, also known as objects, inside of it. So what we can see here is the first one has a name called, I'm not going to pronounce that, but that's the first one. We can actually minimize it here. So there's the second one, slightly inappropriate, and this one here, and so on and so forth. So what we'll want to do, I feel bad printing out names now. Let's print out the, okay, let's do the names. So, just like before, what you may think we do is this, but that won't work, because we have to actually go into the key. So we'll need to do a loop, so for clan in clan JSON, and remember the first key was items. So you can see that here, items. So we're going into there and iterating through everything inside. So we're going into items, and our iterator is clan. Then what we're going to do is print the clan name. Alright, let's hope this works. Cool. There's all the names. Easy. So what we're going to do next is we can actually get their clan level. Clan name, let's go like this. Is level and a space plus clan, oops, level. Oh, that didn't seem to work, so what have I got wrong here? Clan name plus, and then we have a string plus the clan level. I don't think it's level, I think it's clan level. Let's just see if we can validate that. Yeah, clan level capital L. Run that through. Cool, it's an integer. Interesting. So see here, it's green, that's an integer. We can only concatenate strings. So what you'll want to do here, string, wrap it like so. Now we should be sweet. There we are. So all the clan levels, they're all level 1, 2, quite low. But anyway, so that's the end of this tutorial, going through the Clash of Clans API, dealing with clans, users, submitting API calls, etc. So let's just reflect on our learning documentation. So we've been able to sign up, we've read through some docs, we've used Postman to make API calls, we have written our basic Python script, and now, last of all, we're going to look at an example application. So what I have here is a simple application, and it will print out the user details and actually make an API call for me and render this information. So what I'll do is I'll include a link to this application in the description. It runs on a simple Flask server, and then you can embed your own HTML views and render your own information using the same API calls that we learned in this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video, and I hope to see you all shortly in a future one. Thanks so much. Catch you later.